personally
More
enjoy
people live in
living
the
in a
cities
rural
because
area.
more people want to live in the
Okay,
cities. That's like an objective
okay.
fact. Okay,
How
why do
many?
people want to live in the cities to a greater extent? Because there's greater access to jobs, greater access to education, greater access to amenities that can lead to social mobility and making your life better off. And you know what? It's crazy. They tend to be democratic areas. So then, like, my point is that, like, why do you think that Republicans are good for the economy when practically all data indicates otherwise? Not only the data we see on a literal local and state level, right? But also we can point to in terms of the governmental federal policy and compare Trump's administration's policy to Harris's administration's policy and see that Harris's administration's policy would have led to better GDP growth, better real median wage growth. It would have led to less unemployment. It would have led to more job growth. Why? Because we wouldn't have imposed the tariffs, which have caused consumer prices to go up and disenfranchised working class people. We wouldn't have specifically imposed this war with Iran, which has caused a destabilization of the level of oil in our country because we're sending our oil to other countries around the world. They're not spending it here on American citizens to reduce the oil prices here, which is inevitably also, because of the global scale, going to lead to higher prices for goods, which negatively impacts, right, the GDP here in this country. So GDP growth is worse off because Trump got in office. Real median wage growth is worse off since Trump got in office, right? And it seems like they've got nothing to address these conditions. And it seems like Democrats are the ones that would have prevented this.
I mean, you can say that, but at times too, though, like there's been clips where Obama said we have to go to war with Iran. Hillary said it. Who else? Nancy Pelosi. Like these are Democrats who have said this stuff too, but they didn't have the balls to do it because they knew this would happen. Yes, but like at the end of the day, they also realized that at some point somebody's got to do it.
Got to do what?
Go to war with Iran.
Okay, no.
Yes, there is clips. Look up Obama saying like we have to go to a war with Iran. There's
No,
a
that's
clip.
not what he said.
Look up
Actually,
Hillary's
actually, he did not say that. He's the one who established the JCPOA, which prevented us from going to war with Iran. And by the way, he said he got the exact same sort of spiel from Netanyahu about going to war with Iran, and he said no.
Let's look it up. Because I'll send you.
And that every single president was
really
told
clips.
this by Netanyahu for like the past 30 fucking years, and Trump was just dumb enough to believe him. Yeah, that's really what it is. To be totally honest with you, that's what happened. They did it with Joe Biden. They did it with Barack Obama. They did it with literally everyone, and everyone said no. And who was dumb enough to believe him? Trump.
So he did say he said do what we must. In 2012, Obama said the United States will do what we must to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons.
That's what the JCPOA is.
Okay, but what happens if that didn't work? Then if we're going to do everything we could to stop this.
I just want to clarify. You can prevent them from getting nukes without going to war. Like, for example, with Midnight Hammer, right? That didn't go to war.
Well, didn't the JCPA, right? Didn't that take the sanctions off of Iran, giving them more money?
So yes, the JCPOA did take sanctions off of Iran. That's in order to get the deal done in the first place, which unfreezes their assets that we froze.
Okay, and then they instantly use those assets to
their own assets, yeah,
to make enriched uranium. Yeah,
no, they weren't enriching. They weren't enriching uranium.
If he would have just not made a deal
they
at all,
weren't
he would have
enriching
been in a good
uranium.
place.
Listen, they weren't enriching uranium because we had surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities. Oh, look, you know what's crazy? You just got a misinformation flag.
For what?
Misinformation, bro. You got a 10-minute flag for misinformation. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We're just looking for debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. That was hilarious timing. That was pretty hilarious timing. It must have been for something else. I can't. That was just really, really funny timing. I don't know. I mean, it's right after he said something wrong. So, yeah, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 20. I
You
was
support
born
Trump?
November 2005. Yeah,
The election was held today. Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
I'd vote for Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, mainly, I I like what he's doing with abortion, overturning Roe v. Wade. That was one of the main reasons I support him. And then, of course, you have his tax act during his first term. I know that we're not under his tax plan anymore. I don't think we are. But his my mother owned a small business during his first term, and his tax plan really helped us out. We weren't doing too well under Obama, but now
Do you think
we're
taxes
still
were
doing
too
good.
high under Biden?
Well, we were under Trump's tax plan under Biden, so
And
I
we're
don't
still
think
under
that we're-
Trump's tax plan now. The
We
big
are?
beautiful bill. Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, I mean,
So-
we're still doing good. I also like his foreign
no, we're
policy.
not.
I like how he's like keeping our allies in reign, and like especially in Europe. I know that like Spain and Italy and Germany lately, they've been like kind of messing up a little bit. We might have to like pull out there, but a majority of our other allies in Europe, we've been kind of keeping them back on track.
I think that we've destabilized our relationships with countries in Europe because of the fact
Hey, you
that
should tell
Trump.
Dean that Abby Hahn's cheating on him, bro.
Okay, that's just a weirdo. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm the big truck driver, child support.
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. What a weirdo. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, it's good, Parker. 23 and Trump.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
If election was held today?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's a good question, bro. Probably the one that supports the most positive utility. So probably Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
03.
Okay, and how old do you say you were again?
03, 23.
And what month were you born?
April.
Okay, all right.
April
And
7th.
okay, and why do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, because I told you, like, I value the most positive utility in human flourishment.
Yeah, but
So-
like obviously that would then question like what do you think brings utility through Trump's administration?
I mean, pretty much sustaining the more will for self positivity. So, for example, he supports. I think he supports children more than the other side.
Is that why he's preventing the release of the Epstein files, and he calls Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor for wanting to release the Epstein files?
Can you name me someone else who released more Epstein files than Trump?
Well, you understand that there was a limitation for being able to release them. There needs to be a congressional bill passed to be able to release them.
And who passed that?
So claiming that he released the most amount of Epstein files is not saying that he didn't try to prevent the release of the Epstein files, or that he isn't releasing all of the Epstein files, even though he's legally obligated to do so. So he's not fulfilling the legal obligation that he has, right, for releasing all of the Epstein files. So how is that supporting children?
Yeah. So wait 1 second. So did you kind of dodged that question? Can you name me someone else who's released more?
I already addressed it. Obviously, no one
No,
else
you
has
didn't.
released the
Good
same
job.
level of files because his
job.
administration was mandated to release all of the files. He has only
And they did.
released a less of the files. So let me ask you this question. Let's say you were the first person to do a homework assignment for a class, right?
Right
And you
on.
did about 30% of that homework assignment, right? And no one else has ever done it before. Could you go to your teacher and be like, well, I did 30% of it. Okay, so no one's ever done that much before. Can you name one person that's ever done that much of the assignment before? Does that mean you're going to get a good grade on the homework assignment?
Well, one more time. Remember, I said the original statement is a positive. The more
Can I get an answer to the question? Does that mean you're going to get a good grade on the homework assignment?
Well, go would be in reference to the people who didn't do any of it. So it'd be yes.
Are you going to get a good grade on the homework assignment? Yes or
In
no?
reference to other people who didn't try at all, yes.
So yes, you will get a bad grade on the homework assignment. You can't just say because you did the most of